We're continuing our conversation, though, with our local plant operator, Mike O'Leary from the Bridgewater Biomass plant, and Bob BERTI, the fuel procurement manager from the same plant as well. And, you know, we mentioned just a few moments ago the meeting that you had at the Bridgewater plant, you know, to talk about the pressures on the market and the effects on the industry as a whole and to our state. Is there any other places that people can get more information on this?
There is a blog online that is that's on. If you go to the RMI's website, you can go on to the blog that we have, and it's called supportnewhampshirebiomass.worldpress.com. Again, that's supportnhbiomass.worldpress.com. And then also we're going to have another one of these scoping meetings at the I'm talking about a scoping meeting because of what just took place in Northern Pass.
You're having your own scoping meeting.
This is an informational meeting, and it's biomass in crisis, jobs, clean energy, and the economy at risk. And this is an informational meeting March 31st at the Merrimack Valley High School. And that's from 5 to 8 p.m. It's a similar format to what we did up at Bridgewater, where we'll have several sectors represented to outline the impacts on their respective industries and landowner effects as well. We'll have a representative from the power plants. We'll have a landowner. We'll have a forester. We'll have a sawmill representative. We'll have New Hampshire's ag industry represented. Just the agricultural community in New Hampshire alone from the biomass plants receives about $500,000 a year in value of fertilizer. So, you know, the impacts are significant. Two of the wastewater treatment plants in the state would be indirectly affected in a negative way, and I'm not even sure that they know it. The city of Claremont uses ash from Bridgewater to compost their sewage sludge. Several years ago, they had a significant odor problem over in the city of Claremont and also in the city of Dover. And what's been the cure for their odor problem at the compost facilities has been composting with high carbon wood ash from our facility. So if these plants went away, they would have to put significant capital upgrades into those plants to get those into compliance and to not have problems with their neighbors.
Now we're talking about local taxpayers picking up the tab.
Exactly.
Just what they need, more pressure. Can you guys do something about the stink over in Concord too? You know, the one that sometimes you're driving down 93, you get a little whiff of that. The wind's blowing the right direction. But anyway, this is one way that the public can help out, right? I mean, what can they do?
The public can certainly contact any of their state representatives, executive council, directly call the governor's office. If they're a PSNH ratepayer, call Gary Long at PSNH and tell him you support New Hampshire jobs and the wood-fired power plants. Okay,
good, because you want them to be able to do a contract, so you can operate, so you know what you know, revenues you'll have coming in as well, right?
Exactly. We really think that PSNH can help to effect a solution for the short term that can keep the plants viable. We feel as though we've offered them a very competitive rate. It's below their default service rate, and we think that they can certainly help with the problem.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys bring up the rate, because that's a perception that I've had discussions with a lot of people. They say that our local biomass energy is just too expensive to produce. It's not competitive.
Yeah. It depends on it really, as far as the price of biomass is. It's really what do you compare it to, and even with the Northern Pass, you know, I think that there's a cost to doing things right, and there's a cost to doing the right thing. And so oftentimes, you know, as a state, as a nation, in many different things, we'll do things in the name of cheap. But a lot of times there's other issues when you try to do things on the cheap. And we certainly feel like the rate that we've proposed is a fair rate, and it keeps all the benefits directly in New Hampshire. Just from our plan alone, we purchase between $5.5 and $6.5 million a year of wood chips. We have a couple $1 million worth of labor, another $1 million worth of operations and maintenance expenses. So each one of these plants is about $10 million that goes directly back into New Hampshire's economy. If you look at a coal-fired power plant in New Hampshire, you can kind of the analogy's been said. You can see a coal car, a rail car full of coal from Venezuela coming into New Hampshire, and then a coal car full of dollars leaving New Hampshire and going to not even to West Virginia, going to Venezuela right now. And when you see a wood chip van pull into Bridgewater Power and drop off wood chips, it leaves with a van load full of dollars that stay in our local economy, and it's supporting real jobs, real New Hampshire people.
All right, so that is supportnhbiomass.wordpress.com. Oh, I did, as promised, pull up my interview with Congressman Charlie Bass when I ran into him at the public scoping meeting for the Department of Energy in Haverhill yesterday. Here's what he had to say about this issue.
Well, I as one who strongly supports local wind, biomass, solar, and so forth, I think these are concerns that should be brought to the attention of the regulators, and the Department of Energy has jurisdiction over this sort of thing, and it ought to be a consideration.
So as we certainly know that Congressman Bass has been a supporter of these projects and having been involved in the industry himself. Have you had any conversations with the congressman?
I have not had any conversations directly with Congressman Bass. Most of our work has been at the local level.
Okay, well, very good.
Yeah.
Bob, you have anything you want to add?
No, I think it's very important that everyone contact the local rep, the senator, and especially the governor, because the message we got back was, we haven't heard anything about this. We want to make some noise, and so we're trying to make some noise. And this really is a homegrown industry. It's very important. It's very important to the economy of the state. And as Michael says, those dollars remain in state. They don't go to Venezuela. They don't go overseas. They will not go to Canada, and this is a very important issue.
One last question, Mike, before we have to let you go. You mentioned default rate of public service in New Hampshire. What does that mean? Can you describe for our listeners who may not know?
Public Service Company of New Hampshire has the default service, so anybody who does not choose a competitive supplier of electricity by default gets served by Public Service. Currently, Public Service serves about 70% of the load in the state, and that default service rate is about 8.7 cents per kilowatt hour, and we've offered them a rate below the 8.7 cents per kilowatt hour.
Okay, well, gotcha. All right, well, thank you very much. Again, support nhbiomass.wordpress.com, and on March 31st at Merrimack Valley High School, you'll have your own informational session. Is it just the Bridgewater plant folks that are going to be there, or are there going to be others?
No, again, we're representing really there's 4 plants that are really in jeopardy right now, and so it's 400 to 500 jobs and 4 power plants.
Okay.
And so this would be 5 to 8 p.m. at Merrimack Valley High School on March 31st, and we certainly would entertain anybody who wants to come. We're definitely encouraging any of the local state representatives, senators, executive councilors to hear about the industry and to really hear about how it's New Hampshire people, New Hampshire jobs, existing jobs, not jobs that are on the drawing board. These are real jobs right now.
Well, one thing I've learned over the past week is how many people are learning about energy and the way it's delivered and produced and the like, and that's a debate that I'm sure is going to continue on for some time right here. So, well, gentlemen, thank you very much. Bob BERTI and Mike O'Leary, thank you.
Appreciate the time.
All right,
thanks for having us, Brian.
Keep in touch, okay? All right, thank you. Bulldog Live continues here, 1-866-823-1077.